Congratulations.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll go ahead and start out. How does it feel to have signed and now, you're a college football player?
Um, Relieving. It feels really good because it's I've been through this whole process since freshman year, and it's just nice to officially have my name on the papers and be done, be ready to go.
What do you feel like, went into this decision? How did you know that Illinois, that's the place that I want to end up?
It was really, it was once, so I got my offer during quarantine and all that happened. And during quarantine, I kind of realized that I want to be closer to home because West Virginia they were close. I was ready to commit to West Virginia at one point, but it was just the distance it was too much because I want to be able to come home if need be, and I want to be able to see my family for the most part. And then their biochemistry program, which is what I want to go into, is one of the top in the world. So that was another plus. And then the Big Ten is known generally for producing linemen to the NFL. And it's been a goal of mine for a while to get to the NFL, and I felt that going through Illinois, I'd have the best chance as an offensive lineman to make it.
How has this day been, with your family? I'm sure it's a little different with COVID, but, how's it been celebrating with them? It's done. It's over. You can take a deep breath, right?
It's been weird because it's been like, so my younger brother, he's just 4 years under, so he's in 8th grade right now. And my parents have now made the shift from focusing on me to now being focused on him. So
Well, I'm going to take you back to a few months ago. Obviously, you're from the St. Louis area, DeSmet, making the decision to move to OSAGE. Can you take me a little bit behind that decision? Obviously, COVID-19, I'm sure, played a factor in that, but go ahead and take me behind that decision, what that was like for you.
yeah, so it was a thought in my mind to so I was wanting to graduate early towards the end of my junior year. It kind of came into my mind that I want to get out to whatever college I'm going to go to as soon as I can. And so to do that, I wouldn't have been able to stay at DeSmet because just the workload that I would have had to do for my senior year to graduate early, I wouldn't have graduated with good grades. So I, with that, I needed to leave DeSmet, but I didn't want to not play my senior year. Otherwise, I would have just stayed out in St. Louis. And Osage was far enough away that the NCAA said I could play, be eligible. And then with all the COVID stuff happening, it turned out that Osage was one of the few teams that actually was playing their whole season. So it worked out really nice.
Did you have any connections to Osage? I'm curious, why Osage? Why was that one of the places that popped into your head?
So we didn't really have any connections per se, but so we already had a lake house out in the Ozarks for the summertime. So we'd come down. My dad, he's big into CrossFit, so he knew people that lived out here through CrossFit. And a good buddy of mine now, our parents are both friends, and his dad was kind of hyping it up, and he pretty much had my dad set in on Osage. And then once I came out here, I kind of liked it. It's a nice little community. It's way different than St. Louis, but it's cool.
I was just going to ask you, what's the difference playing football in St. Louis, playing football in Osage? What did you notice?
Not in football, it wasn't much different. Football is football pretty much everywhere, but just the people is what made it really, really, really different. So, like, for instance, in St. Louis, everybody kind of was more in their own group. Like the cliques and stuff was way more prominent out in St. Louis. But here at Osage, there were the cliques, obviously, but they accepted you more, if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain, but that's the biggest thing, is that you didn't really have to prove yourself as much for them to give you a chance. And then the caliber of player, but that's...
Sorry, 1 second. I was having trouble unmuting my mic there, but what's it like coming into a new program? It's your senior season, arguably one of your most important seasons and memorable seasons. You're with a new program, new people, what was that like?
What? I don't really understand what you're asking.
Yeah, coming into a new team for your senior season, it's your last season, playing high school football. What was that like, getting to know new guys playing with a new team?
It was nice. So because back at DeSmet, we're a family. Even now, I'm still very close with a lot of the players on the team, and it's you can't turn a team like that around and then not be friends with everyone. So it was. I don't want to say it was hard because it wasn't really hard leaving and making new friends. It was just like I felt like I was accepting walking into that next chapter earlier. Like instead of saying goodbye to all of my friends at the end of my senior year walking to college, I said bye junior year, and now I'm finishing my senior year.
That kind of goes along with what I was going to ask you. Is it relieving with you've been through so much, moving schools and doing all this different stuff your senior year? Is it kind of relieving? You're pretty much done with it all. You're moving on now. So is that pretty relieving, especially considering all you've been through?
Yeah, it's nice to be kind of at the end of everything because it's we I'm tired of moving. So it's nice being towards the end of it all. And I'm sorry, I kind of completely lost my train of thought.
You're all good. No worries.
But yeah, it's nice being at the end of everything, and where the fact that I'm almost done with high school is insane. Like I feel like just yesterday I was a freshman, but I have 2 more days and then I'm done.
I'm going to end on this. What are your hopes, your dreams? You kind of mentioned, touched on what you want to do at Illinois, but what do you think what impact do you want to try to leave in Illinois? That's such a big question for someone who just signed his letter of intent, but it's the question I got for you.
um, I the biggest thing I'd like to do is turn it around, like my class did with this Met. So not really specifically an individual goal, but I'd like to turn the losing team into hopefully national champions, but at least bowl winners.
Awesome. Well, once again, congratulations. I appreciate you taking the time and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Go ahead and celebrate.
Thank you very much.